various interpreters have seen the novel as prophetic of the rise of totalitarianism,
Yes.
and as a critique of totalitarian regimes where people are apprehended without any justification. And some have even said that, you know, the landscape that he's depicting, this city where, you know, anyone can walk into your home and arrest you and carry you off to be executed, as the protagonist is at the end of the novel, at any time, is also a prevision of concentration camp conditions. And I would say that's problematic, because actually what Kafka is doing in this novel is far more radical. He's calling into question the legitimacy of any political order whatsoever. On what basis is it that the state considers itself a sovereign authority over the lives of its subjects? And according to what criteria do a certain group of people pass judgment over an individual?
And I suppose you could also relate this to, especially as he was Jewish, to religious law, because Judaism has, 613 laws the Orthodox are required to obey.
And the parable at the center of the trial is called Before the Law. And in a way it epitomizes the message of the novel. The parable Before the Law is a story told to the protagonist by the priest of a cathedral that he visits toward the end of the novel. But it is the central motif or scene of the novel. And in this parable Before the Law, you have a quote-unquote man from the country who comes to the doorway of the law, and there's a guard at the side of this doorway who does not allow the man from the country to enter. He tells him, you're not permitted to enter at this time. And the man from the country repeatedly attempts to bribe the guard, to gain entrance to the law. He gives him his watch, he gives him various articles of clothing, and eventually even his jacket. And the guard says to him, look, I take these from you only so that you'll feel nothing's been left undone. And you should know that although you could enter, there's a guard more powerful than me beyond this gate, and there are other gates, and each guard is more powerful than the one before him. So the man from the country is dissuaded by this, and he sits at the side of the door of the law until he, starts to enter old age and his faculties deteriorate, and he can barely form a final question in his mind. And he asks the guard, wait a minute, I don't get it. In all these years I've been here, how come nobody else has come seeking admittance to the law? And his eyes are failing, and he can see this dim light emanating from the tunnel of the many doorways into the law. And the guard gets up, and in answer to his question, he says, well, that's because this door was made only for you. And now I'm going to close it. And so this is the parable at the heart of the trial. And it's meant to signify that the law, the halacha, can only be entered by force.
And struggle.
And through struggle.
Yeah.
And the trial in German is der Prozess, which also could be translated as the ordeal. And der Prozess, of course, as a cognate in English, signifies process as well. And the kind of process involved here is the process of the Heraclitean metaphysical strife. And ceaseless flux.
It seems to me that the guard standing at the threshold of the door is very much akin to what the anthroposophist Rudolf Steiner calls the guardian of the threshold, who is the initiator into the mysteries of the esoteric.
Yes, well, it's the God who wrestles with Jacob as well. The point being that you should not obey God. You should wrestle with God if you want to prevail